There they are. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Kind of Funny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nick Scarpino, alongside the second best baby blues in the entire world, Mr. Tim Geddes.
Let him host.
The marathon man,
Whoa.
Roger Picordi.
Hey, what's up?
And Blessing Adeoye Jr. joining us again.
What up? Why don't I get a cool nickname?
What is your nickname is what? The future of gaming? Future class of gaming? Future?
Something like that. Yeah,
What does
Forbes
Greg
30
say?
under 30. I think
Forbes
now
30 under 30.
New York Game Awards nominated Games Journalist of the Year.
Well,
Did you know I was nominated for Games Journalism, Nick?
I knew you were nominated for something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious because I'm like, I've had this discussion with like everybody else, but I was like, I don't know if Nick knew I was supposed to go to New York for an award show.
I remember there being. I remember getting it wrong. So when I remember saying congratulations on being nominated by like the New York Times or something like that, and you were like, no, it's a different. It was a different outlet that nominated you, right?
Yeah.
Who was it officially?
The New York Critics Circle.
That makes sense. That's
Yeah.
even cooler.
Circle.
That's
Yeah.
better.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Circle, yeah.
Well,
That's even
circle makes
cooler.
it square.
The Circle people.
Whoa.
Before we started this podcast, and also shout out to Barrett for blowing.
Shout out to Barrett. Nick says just shows Patrick's.
because I need to hold on. I gotta put this behind me.
Oh yeah, of course.
I have to get my booster chair.
Yeah.
blew up too much. Now it's it's rounding out.
So can you explain what happened before the show? Because like,
So I walk in, right? Or Blessing walks in, and he says, and I quote, "I don't like that Roger and Nick have a dynamic."
Yeah. Yeah.
To which I started asking the obvious question, and you stopped me
yeah,
because you said this is going to be gold content. Which dynamic bothers you more?
Roger and Mike.
Okay,
Yeah. That was an easy one. That was an easy one.
So annoying.
that was pretty easy.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, that was pretty easy. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you didn't know, the Kind of Funny podcast, we do this each and every week. We're sometimes four, sometimes five best friends gather on this table, each bringing a topic for your amazement. If you guys love what we do, please support us over for the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. You can get the Kind of Funny podcast for free without ads. Exclusive content on YouTube and podcast services around the globe. You can be watching live right now, just like Anthony Corbett and Ben Loblick. Oof, that's a good last name. Ben Loblick. Shout out to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Kishan Patel, Nathan Lamoth, Karen Linder, James Hastings, Casey Andrews, and Casey Kern. Thank you guys so much. Today, we're brought to you by the Kind of Funny store. I'm going to get right back to that in a second.
Bless bringing up what his nickname is and the endless accolades under your name at this point. The Forbes 30 under 30, blah blah blah.
Thank you.
What has Forbes 30 under 30 brought you? Because to me, the biggest thing it's brought me is just an endless barrage of emails.
Oh yeah.
Of people that think that we are capable of making them money.
Oh.
That and the people that think for some reason I want to go to Botswana for a
you do.
summit.
Exactly.
And I'm
But
like,
they want us to
I
pay
do not
for it.
have Botswana money. Actually, a few weeks ago, I went to a Forbes 30 under 30 party that went down like 15 minutes south of here. And it took place at a mansion owned by this guy named the Spice Lord. And I went and
Was he part of the Forbes 30 under 30? Or
No.
was he just an adjacent?
he's just a
figure?
dude that has a mansion.
Okay.
And so I believe like the people in San Francisco, like people in different territories, like, sign up to be the board member, right? They like help plan things, they help organize, do all that stuff. So the people here, they were like, oh, we want to throw a party every year. And so they went to the Spice Lord and they were like, hey, like you have a venue, can we use your venue to throw this event? And like he just has events. Like if you look up the Spice Lord, he just throws events in his mansion. And so I go to this party and it's cool. Like they have a DJ, they have a dance floor, they have like a room that just has karaoke. Like a theater room where they just put karaoke up and people were just singing and having a good time. They had a heated pool. They had an open bar. They had all these things. It was like $50 to get in though.
Yeah.
And it was cool. My only thing is that
you had to pay to get into the party?
Yeah.
you had to pay to get into the party. Yeah.
That's all this.
You think, yeah, Forbes is not going to give you anything for free.
No.
Well,
Like, even
I
if you're 30 under 30.
I imagine it's just like my UC Irvine Alumni Association that is trying to hunt me down.
Yeah.
And I dodge them all the time. Every once in a while, I answer a stupid call because it's like my mechanic or something. And like, oh, Mr. Scarpino, is the Alumni Association for you? And I try to hang up on them, but then they get a fix on me and the fucking police cars pull in and they want some money from me. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing with the party is that the problem with Forbes is that Forbes assumes that you have way more money than you have. At least for me, like most people that most of the people that get into Forbes starting to 30, they're business owners or they're tech bros or do whatever, right? And I'm like, I host a podcast. I'm in games media, so I do
Yeah.
not have as much money as an AI tech CEO. And so, yeah, I get hit up and they're like, oh, yeah, buy this sweatshirt for $200 or whatever. But the thing with this party is that all the people that were there were some kind of like tech person or AI person or CEO. And so it started off very interesting of getting into conversations about people that were like, oh yeah, like I have a business that is trying to help the environment through AI, or like I have a business where I am like, I founded this fashion company or whatever. And a lot of it was very interesting. But then a lot of it turned interesting for the wrong reasons. Where like one of the first things I saw,
Where are we going with
Where
this?
is this going?
like it was just a fascinating environment because like I'm hanging out. I went with you can have a +1, so I was hanging out with my +1. We both turned to our left, and there's just a dude rocking a MAGA hat, and I'm like, I'm not seeing one of
There it
those.
is.
Is it the Spice Lord?
It wasn't the Spice
Was it
Lord.
Donald
No,
Trump?
it was some
It was
CEO
Donald
dude.
Trump.
But like I saw that, and I was like,
Dang, for
interesting.
reals.
Yeah, like I was like, I'm not seeing this. When you live in San Francisco, you don't see that out in the wild. That's like not a San Francisco thing to do.
Yeah.
So I saw that, and I was like, huh, interesting.
I haven't
And
seen that
like,
in a minute.
and I think like everybody was just like, yeah, well, that's Bob. Like he's just doing his thing with his MAGA hat on. I'm like, all right, cool. And then like there was that. There was like later in the night, there was a dude that I was having a conversation with like with a group of people. And we're of course talking about tech. I was actually talking to somebody who was a like a music producer, and she was really cool. This dude comes through and is like, yo, the dance floor is popping off. And we're like, oh, is it? And he's like, oh man, you got to come to the dance floor. And we follow him. The dance
And it
floor
was a
is-
Trump rally.
the dan-
Like, what the fuck? How did I get in
the
it?
dance floor is empty.
Yeah.
And like this dude starts dancing by himself, and both of us
Oh.
are like, oh, he's on drugs. Like he is drugged out of his mind. And so me and her look at each other like, yeah, we're just gonna go. And like
Yeah.
that man just ended up having a good time by himself on the dance floor. So that was the thing that happened. There was another person I was talking to who was like, I forget what conversation we're having. I think it was just one of those things that we both saw that we weren't talking to anybody at the time. So we start talking to each other, and one of the questions I asked, I'm like, oh yeah, so what do you do, right? And we start talking about that. A few minutes later, a girl that he was talking to earlier comes around, and like they're like, oh man, like thank you for getting me out of that conversation, yada yada, like talking about a conversation that had earlier. And she starts talking about like, yeah, like people just don't know how to talk to each other, right? Like everybody just wants to ask like, what do you do? Like that's how everybody asks all these questions or starts all these conversations. And I'm standing there like, oh, I'm the person that just asked you, what do you do? And now I'm hearing this girl talk about how terrible of a question that is to ask people, not realizing that that's the exact conversation I'm having with this dude. It was an interesting night. It was a wild night. But ultimately, like I think that is the one thing I've gotten out of Forbes so far that is tangible.
Yeah.
Is going to that party, and it was
Good story.
You have to
It's a
spend
great
$50 though.
I spent
But
$50.
You got. You got at the end of the day. Now, here's the thing. I think that we might be able to turn things around, though, because an
shit.
opportunity has presented itself that might change the trajectory of Kind of Funny forever, all right?
Holy fuck.
Get an email, 6:37 a.m. today, all right? Private island, private invite.
Fuck.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's a great way to start an email.
Hi, Tim. Each year we host a small group of successful entrepreneurs in an intimate retreat on Sir Richard Branson's private island.
Yes, dude.
Our preliminary research indicates that you might qualify to join us there in March 2024. The purpose is threefold. Disconnect from the world at large to create space for deep rejuvenation and reflection. 2, connect with other high-caliber entrepreneurs to refine your thinking and accelerate your growth. 3, collaborate with Virgin Unite on world-changing social enterprise impact projects. As an attendee, you'll also be enrolled in the island's 12-month visionary mastermind,
Oh, jeez.
a year-long program tailored to maintain momentum from the retreat and help you expand and amplify your vision with guidance and support from your fellow retreat attendees. If you'd like to be considered, please reply and I'll provide more information. And it's like, So I started looking into this. Just I know it's some bullshit, but I'm like, how bullshit is it? There's this website called maverick1000.com, and it just says one maverick entrepreneur can transform an industry. 1,000 together can transform the world. Are you one of them? With some of the worst font choices I have
That's a
ever
great
fucking
font
seen.
choice.
Like, this is not a private island that I
No,
want.
this is a
I
sleeper
don't wanna
cell
go to-
situation.
Imagine you went to a mansion for a day.
Yeah.
Imagine going to a private island
I've-
with these people.
I've hit the point in life where I'm like, I'm never gonna go to a private island. Just for
Just as a rule.
just as a rule, just as I feel like after like the
Just a
things,
safety rule.
yeah, things that have happened in recent years where I'm like, I don't want to be the guy that's like on a list. And I'm like, listen, I was just going because I got an email about how cool
Yeah.
the island is, and now like I'm learning that some not great things are happening on the island. I'm not trying to have that.
Now, let me ask you this question, though,
Uh huh.
because we've talked about this before. What if that island was where Firefest 2 was and Snow Mike was trapped on that island? Would you go hang out with him?
No.
He's trapped. Go hang out with him.
Because there's no way when that happens that we're
Hilarious.
keeping Mike away from that.
No.
But what's going to be hilarious is he's going to buy the ticket to it. He's going to spend all the money to it, and then he's just not going to go.
No.
See, I feel like that's a Roger question. I feel like Roger would go
To a private island?
with Mike.
With Mike? No, because he wouldn't show up. Even with this half marathon thing, he was not going to show up.
Roger is heated. I've been waiting all
there's nothing
all day to hear
There's nothing to
this.
say. I mean, like,
There's nothing to say.
There's nothing to say. It's just the truth.
There's a
For
lot
people
to
that don't
say.
know what's going on, what's going on,
Yeah,
Rog?
catch us up on the marathon.
Yeah, so Cool G actually brought up the idea, I think it was maybe 4 months ago, that there's going to be a half marathon in San Francisco. It was going to go through Golden Gate Park, go down the Great Highway, and it's the Kaiser Permanente one. It happens every year. It's a pretty big one in San Francisco. And
Someone
so,
say it's permanent.
get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Go ahead.
Is that how
sorry,
you
I
pronounce it? Did I
apologize.
say it wrong?
No, you said it right.
Okay, cool.
I'm just being dumb.
And
How
I'm just
dare
being
you.
extra
How dare
dumb.
So then, yeah, I signed up for that, and that is the genesis. Some people don't know of Snowbike Mike running a half marathon is because I went to Mike and I was like, "Hey, Mike, I'm doing this thing for myself. I think I'm signing up. It's in a few months. I'm going to better myself and better my life." He looks at me and says, "I can do a half marathon right now." And then, of course, it escalated to Greg calling him out immediately and being like, "No, you're not. No, you can't do it." And then, of course, Greg is like, "You can't do that." And then we're like, "Okay, cool. We're going to stay and we're going to watch Mike do it." And then Greg says, "Okay, peace," and goes home. And we're just here and we're just watching Mike do a half marathon. And he almost dies, of course.
Yeah,
He
of
almost,
course.
he told me,
And now, how? And again, to clarify, how
Yeah.
far did he get in the half marathon?
you
'Cause
know,
I've heard mixed stories from this.
Yeah.
And I want to officially put this one to bed, as they say in the district attorney's
Should we-
office.
should we tell the truth?
I want
Kevin?
I want the truth.
I
see, you can't
Andy
handle
was
the truth.
talking about it.
He was?
openly this morning.
Okay, so then
Okay.
we're going to talk about it.
So I think it's finally time to say the truth
Yeah.
about.
I'm
this
very
half
excited to
marathon.
hear this because I thought the truth is that you ran a half marathon.
Mike did not run a half marathon.
Well, I mean, to be fair to Mike, that was my fault, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, do you
That
want
was
to
my fault. Kevin
was
Quill,
my
that
fault.
was my fault.
I'm sorry.
you want to explain, Kevin?
Yeah, we were trying to figure out the numbers in a way that made sense. And I was like throwing out like, look, if you run to here,
Kevin
that's
math.
2 miles. That's
Yeah.
2 miles. But what happened is that got mixed up with one that was like a mile point one. So he ended up running it, and it was too late to tell him midway through, hey, you got to double it to get to where you want to
Yep.
be. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So
I
he
mean-
so he ran a 10K. He ran 6 miles,
Which is still insane.
It's still very impressive.
especially for a
I
man
mean,
who
ran as being very generous.
yeah, a little bit of a jog,
He definitely wouldn't have made
more
that
of
half
a
marathon
walk.
though.
Yeah, no.
Because he came back, he was damaged.
No,
by the time
yeah,
he made it back.
There was a moment where I was running with him. I think it was the last lap, and there's a moment he looked at me. He said, "Roger, my calf is gonna fall off. It's gonna fall off. It's gonna pop. It's gonna fall off." And then we got to the end, and we all congratulated, like, "Man, it's half marathon. Isn't that incredible?" And then in the car as we're driving home, I'm like, "Mike, it wasn't a half marathon. The truth was, it was 6 miles." And he looked at me. He said, "Good. That's exactly what it needed to be." He's
Yep.
like, "If we went one more, it would have been over for me."
Now,
So, yeah.
the wrinkle to this, of course, is that I come in the next morning and Mike is walking basically like his knee joints don't work,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's walking very similar to the time where he walked out of the In-N-Out after that lady complimented him. Have you heard this story?
I have heard that
Okay.
story. Yeah.
So Mike walked out. Mike has this thing when he gets embarrassed. So I just thought he was embarrassed the whole day because when he gets embarrassed, he has very good posture. His ass tightens up,
Yep.
and he walks on his the balls of his feet out with his head up.
Yeah, starts making trouble.
So he was walking that way the whole time. And I was like, what happened to Mike? And you guys were all like, oh, he ran a half marathon. To which I said, bullshit. There's no fucking way he ran
Yeah.
13 miles or however much a half marathon is.
13, 13.1.
And you guys, to your credit,
Uh-huh.
but also go fuck yourselves, lied to my face for a solid month
Well,
and a half.
Well,
We-
the real thing is because Kevin was very embarrassed by it.
Yeah, we
He-
figured it out halfway through, and I was mortified.
Yeah, it wasn't.
felt
This
awful.
wasn't a safe space for Mike. Believe me, I would have fucking blown this up in 5 seconds.
Fair.
Right? I would have just said, "Hey, this is not a real half marathon."
Well, we
but
all
Kevin,
came together,
Yep.
and I was like, I think we should just tell him now on his lap back, and everyone was like, we're not fucking doing that.
No, we're
And I was
creating
like,
content.
Are we taking this one to our graves?
yeah,
And
but
everyone looked at me and said yes.
I think
And you made it a month and a half. Like how long ago was that?
this is probably 2 months ago.
What happened to the grave?
I mean, well, it might be coming up. Might be coming
Well,
up.
I mean, since then, like I said, Andy brought it up today on the stream, so I think we're past that.
Yeah, statute of limitations.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Mike ran a half marathon and almost died.
right.
And then,
10K.
so then I continued my actual training, started training for the last 3 months, 2.5 months, whatever it was, to actually do this half marathon. Never ran before. I don't do treadmill. When I lost all the weight, I did elliptical only. So running to me is like a new thing. And for the last few months, I actually did a plan. I was running longer and faster than I've ever had before. You know, when you start running on a treadmill for the first time and like maybe since you were in like high school,
Sure.
you start to like, at least for me, I'm like a caged animal. Like when I start the actual treadmill, I'm just thinking about ways to get the fuck off this thing.
Oh,
Really?
so you don't like it?
No, I hate it.
Oh,
I hate it in the beginning.
See, to me, you know how people say I get the runner's high?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You just got to run for 10 hours, then you get the runner's high. 10 seconds into running, I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I think it's a joke. I think it's like beer, where people go, "You want a beer?" And I'm like, "It still tastes horrible." Like they're playing a joke on me that people
Yeah.
actually like to run. It's fucking horrible. It feels terrible.
Yeah.
It
See-
sucks for my body. I don't like it.
No.
I'm about 3.5 months into going to the gym consistently. And when I say consistently, I mean like once or twice a week. I'm not going every single
Good
day.
enough?
But like,
Good enough.
it's something, right?
Yeah.
And like, I've been every single time I go, I do the treadmill for about 30 minutes, and I have hit the point where like, starting off, I hated it. Starting off, I was like, let's see how long I actually do this thing.
Sure.
In the last month or so, I think I've started to get that runner's high where I'm like, oh, I can just keep going. Like I can go for 1 mile, I can go for 2 miles. Like
That's incredible.
I could pass. I'm surprised that I feel that way because I've hated running throughout my entire life.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I was always a bigger kid in school, right? Even before I ballooned or whatever. Like I was always the kid that like we would do the mile. Do you guys have to do the mile every?
We used to have to do them out. A side note, Kev, can you bring up the YouTube chat in here when you have a sec?
That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
I think it might be on the wrong one, but I think the
I'll,
oh maybe that is YouTube. Sorry, the Twitch chat,
Um,
or are they mixed? I'm confused. Never
There's
mind.
two YouTube.
There's two
ones.
YouTubes.
Gotcha.
There's
Thank you.
Patreon and then there's membership.
Copy that. Thank
Less
you.
people in the membership usually talking.
If you're in the membership, say hi,
what up?
just so we know.
But yeah, so every time we would do the mile in high school, I would always just do not finish. Like, did not finish. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
I would
yeah.
do a thing, and then the coach would look at me and be like, "It's been 14 minutes. You're done. It's over. We're just gonna put a big old F on this one." So like, I never liked running, so I thought that this was gonna be a really good way to kind of get out of my comfort zone and do something to kind of better myself after losing the weight. So yeah, but like when I started running like on the treadmill, I started realizing just fucking how scary like it is like when I first start running, because like I'm running, I'm going fast, and then I'm just like, I want to be out of here. I have like 30 more minutes. I have 40 more minutes on this fucking thing, and like kind of getting used to my brain having to be on this treadmill for an absorbent amount of time, 30, 40, 50 minutes.
That's a lot of
To
time.
me, that's like an insane number. Like as someone who does not do that, like I'm good with elliptical, I'm good with machines that I can push, but like being on something that is always moving, that I have to keep up the pace. Like that's the thing that like I will talk about the half marathon, the fact that it didn't happen, right? But I don't think I'm ever gonna, even if I did this half marathon, I crush it, I'm never gonna run again like this because it just is such a time sink, right? Like there is no way to do a half marathon super fast. You know what I mean? Like there's no way to like kind of crunch it into like a 30-minute workout. No, you're there for like 2 hours running, no matter what.
If I could wave my hand and change like one thing about me, I would be like, you like running now.
Yeah.
I just wish it felt good. I wish it could have felt good to me all throughout my teenage years, but I'll never forget. I played AYSO soccer when I was like 12.
Yeah.
And my cleats were too tight and it gave me a foot ache. And I was like, this running shit fucking sucks. And I never ran past that.
That's it.
Every mile that I had to run, I walked. Every pull up that I had to do, I hung. I didn't do a pull. Did you guys have to do pull ups in New York?
No, never.
We had the presidential fitness, whatever the
I
fuck
think
it was.
Did not everyone have that, right?
I never had to do pull-ups specifically, maybe because
That
my
was
school
part of-
didn't
that was
have
part of the
pull-ups.
test.
Yeah, I do not remember doing pull-ups.
Oh, well, so back in the 90s when I was going through school, junior high and whatnot, we had to do it once a year. I dreaded it.
Yeah.
Because I remember you had to do all the backstops like 3 times or something like that. That was like a mile. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
My buddy Clay lapped me twice. I was like, piece of shit. And he fucking rubbed in my face every time too. He was cool. He didn't say anything, but
Yeah, he's
I could
looking
tell.
at you a certain way.
he fucking side-eyed me when he went, but he's a lawyer now.
Makes it okay?
Well, you know, I don't know. But then we'd have to do, you have to do the pull-up bar. You're supposed to be able to do like a pull-up. And man, I have never been more embarrassed. You're never more embarrassed in your life. When you go up there, you just got, and they're like, you can just hang.
Dude, pull-ups
Yeah.
are deceiving. Like there was I was at Emron's wedding and I was hanging out with a group of people and like there was a playground around
Me.
the corner. Oh yeah, you were part of that group. Roger was
A
there.
group of people, an undisclosed amount of people.
And we were like, oh yeah, there's a playground around the corner because the wedding was happening at like a food truck park. And we're like, oh, we want to see how many pull-ups we can do. And I was like, oh, pull-ups, that's probably easy. I can probably do like 10. And they were like, you cannot do 10 pull-ups.
No.
I was like, why not? Like I can do like probably like 15, 20 push-ups if I wanted to right now. Like, why can't I do pull-ups? And they're like, you cannot do 10 pull-ups. And I go, I think I made it to 4.
That's great though.
Great.
4 or
That's a
5.
lot.
That's still
That's
a lot.
Yeah, but even still, I was like, this is to see. I would have thought that pull-ups were way easier than they are.
No, they're very hard. Yeah.
I got a buddy of mine that's he's one of my coaches in jiu-jitsu, and we used to work out together, and he was like, I forget what it was called, but it was some set of workout where it was like you went back and forth between pull-ups, squats, and then like burpees or something crazy. Or no, it's push-ups, squats, and then pull-ups, right? And it was like do 200 push-ups, 100 squats, and then like
It's that One
50
Punch Man
pull-ups or
workout.
something.
That's
And
insane.
I would get to 20 pull-ups in the time that it would take him to basically finish the whole fucking workout,
Yeah.
because he was so athletic that he would just do sets of like 10 and 15 pull-ups, just bam, 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 bam. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to start with 3, and then it's going to go to 2, and then it's going to go half, half, half.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to count those like
What
every
fucked
half
me
is
up?
1.
What fucked me up was Arrow, because every single episode of
No.
Arrow had the scene of Oliver Queen doing like the what are they called? Like
The salmon ladder.
the same ladder, yeah, where you
Oh.
take the pull-up bar and then like put it onto the
That's
next thing
insane.
and
That
then
shit's
climb that
crazy.
way. Like that's
And
insane.
Stephen Amell made that look easy.
He made it look so easy, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is fucking child's
I
play.
got that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can do that shit.
If Arrow got it, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a while where I was trying to convert Roger into being a pull-up guy. I told him we were pull-up
Yeah.
guys.
Which is that's why I know
Did a
that.
chin-up.
That's fuck you. You know
No,
what I mean?
did,
I
but that's hard. That's
showed him.
75% of the pull-up.
I showed him a video of me, what I thought was doing a pull-up. Right? I'm so proud. I'm like a little child showing my
You
father,
crushed
like, oh my god,
You
look
did a
how
great
look how cool I am. He looks at it. He's like, man, that's a great chin up.
Chin-up.
I was like,
Yeah.
excuse me?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's a chin up. That's not a pull up. I was like, all right, well, I guess this is over now. Never doing this again.
Roger was so inspired by me, and then that was the moment where he started hanging out with Mike.
Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
I'm done. I'm not fucking doing this anymore.
Yeah, I want somebody to tell me how many cheeseburgers to eat, not how many pull ups to do.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
fair
I'm looking
enough.
for.
That
That's
is
what I'm
fair
looking
enough.
for.
So, Roger, you get to the part where
Yeah.
yesterday morning.
Oh, the marathon.
Yeah, so the marathon was supposed to happen yesterday. Been planning for it, but we also knew for the last week that it was going to be stormy. It was going to be raining, massive winds, high wind advisory right by the coast. And a few days before, they were like, "Hey, we're changing the route. It's actually not going to be through Golden Gate Park. It's going to be around towards. It's going to be only on the Great Highway, which is right on the coast, right? So we don't want anybody dying because of trees or anything. So it's like, okay, cool. That doesn't inspire confidence, but whatever. At least it's
Yeah, let's make sure there's absolutely no like shielding or sheltering from
exactly.
the fucking wind.
Yeah, exactly. You know where
On
the
the
wind is
coast.
usually worst? It's by the water.
Yeah, by the water.
Yeah, so
it comes right out of that.
they move it over there, and it's like, okay, fine, whatever. And then the morning of, I'm all ready. Saturday, by the way, just the race is on Sunday. Saturday, I'm just a nervous fucking wreck, dude.
Yeah.
I am just all day. I am just in the house, just neurotically walking around, thinking about my headphone usage, like trying on my outfit. I have this weird like fabric belt that I had to put my phone. I was like trying it on, be like, is it gonna fall out? I don't know what's happening. I'm like just trying on everything, like freaking out, like completely not enjoying my Saturday at all. And then it's like, okay, cool. I got to a good place. Sunday, here we go. Wake up in the morning, Cool G texts me. They changed it to a 10K instead of a half marathon. So now it's 6 miles. I'm like, okay,
Even
that
better.
that fucking sucks.
Even
But
better.
I'm like, you know what? It is less. Lance looks at me and is like, you know, if you don't do this, you're not gonna have a good day. You're gonna be sad that they did it and you didn't. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna do it. Hop on the Uber.
Now, meanwhile,
Yeah.
like this happening, it is now what, 7 a.m.?
Yes, so it's 7 a.m. now. I hop in the Uber.
And it is pouring
Yes.
rain. And there is wind where it's the type of rain that it's just walls of water coming at you.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of
I mean,
wind.
sideways, as they
Yeah.
would say.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I hop in the Uber. The race starts at 8 a.m. Hop in the Uber, get there at 7:30. And then we get an email at 7:33 that the race is canceled. And it is just this moment of everyone around us all realizing and being like, race is canceled. No, it isn't. No fucking way. Looking at, oh shit, it is. And then we just look at each other and I looked at Leanza and she was like, man, babe, I'm so sorry. I know you worked so hard at this. I looked at her, I was like, this is the best possible thing that could have happened today.
Did
Like
not wanna
once
do
you
this.
get to the fucking Great Highway and the coast, it is just unbearable. I couldn't walk 3 minutes, let alone an hour worth of a jog. So like I was so happy that it was canceled. I went, got a cheeseburger at 8:30 a.m. and
Hell
I
yeah.
just pretended that I did this half marathon. Eventually I'll do it. I think Cool G and I are planning to actually do it one
Do the
day.
thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Hopefully Gia joins us.
Because you guys are still getting the medal.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. I'm trying to get a fucking refund. You know what I mean? Like, what are they doing? They're
Y'all
trying.
got played, man.
No.
Y'all got Forbes 30 and 30 on this.
really did.
Yeah,
Rod,
because my version of the story is everyone's like, "Oh, Tim, you should do this half marathon." I'm like, "Not a chance, bye." So of course I didn't do it, but Cool Greg, who can do it in his damn sleep, and Gia, who runs every day and takes this shit so seriously. But even then, like, this is a Herculean effort. You can't just run a half marathon, Mike. Like, you need to actually train for it. And I'm so proud of you for putting the work in, because I know what G has to put in.
Yeah.
Somebody that runs every day can casually run for an hour. Like, and I don't even know how many miles she does, but like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
She does it all. This is a lot for her. She's been stressing about it. She's been like, I don't know if like, she knew that it wasn't going to be her best this time. And then the rain came in and then all this stuff. And so she was kind of like not feeling great about it. So she's in the same place of you. Like, hey, this is kind of best case scenario. And then my brother was just going to crush it. But all of this is to say, my lazy ass has to be put to work somehow. So I get the designated driver here.
And this is what's amazing to me about this is because there's never somehow, and I want to be real about this for a second. No jokes aside. For whatever reason, and I'm deadly serious, anything that happens in this office or is tangentially related to something that might happen in this office somehow affects Tim. It doesn't matter what it is.
So true.
It doesn't matter what it is. No idea any of this is happening.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it.
Living
I was
in a
running
beautiful
outside.
bubble.
I'm looking at my whatever. Poor Tim. If you had asked me, hey Nick, two scenarios. One, you get to sleep in that day,
Yeah.
or two, you got to wake up and cart people back and forth in a fucking like atmospheric river. I would have been
Straight
like,
up.
you were gonna go with that one, yeah.
And so I'm just like, oh, here we freaking go. So I wake up and I didn't complain once. Just went with it all. I owe them a lot. Whatever, it's fine. Annoying as shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, I had plans for this Saturday, right?
Yeah.
And waking up this early was not one of them. Whatever, having to get out and do all stuff in the pouring rain. Like again, it was like a horrible experience
Yeah, it was
to even be a part of.
Really quick, what was your plan? Or were you going to go at the finish line? Were you going to come
No,
back?
my plan was just drop them off. And they're fucking.
They're on their own.
They're on their own.
Find your
I've
way
seen
back
them do
home.
enough half marathons.
run back
because
home
we've
if you
done
need
this
to.
enough times
Yeah.
that like getting people after it's a fucking disaster.
It's a nightmare.
It's
Yeah,
like
they got to walk out.
yeah, and also like just to be fair, like where it was actually going to end, it was very, 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 very close to my house. So it was like I wasn't leaving them fucking, and I would have got him if I had to. But there's been times like this is not my first rodeo with this shit. There's been times, and every single time is a disaster. Like every time something goes on. There was one time where Cool Greg needed something from me. I forget what it was, like his wallet or some shit. So my fucking brother is doing the half marathon, and me and Gia are driving our car trying to find him while he's running through Golden Gate Park, and we're trying to locate him while he's running, which is impossible when there's thousands of people running, and me and Gia are running through the fucking woods, like going off-roading. It was insane. We ended up not even getting it. So I have a lot of PTSD when it comes to this, the driving to marathon situation, right? Yesterday, it was more just annoying than anything, and I just didn't want to be driving in the rain, all that shit, whatever. I drive, get them there, drop them off. It's all good. Start driving back, and I'm fantasizing about getting back in bed. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. I got my Steam Deck ready for when I do wake up, just got to chill or whatever. Get to my house. Get out of my car. It is pouring fucking rain. I'm like, at least I only need to be in this for 10 seconds. Get in my house and all good. Gia calls me, hey, they canceled the race. Can you come back and get me?
God.
And I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? So I had to get back in, go back and get them. And of course,
mad.
do my best to just be all cool. And I know I'm obviously, guys, I'm exaggerating. I'm just having fun here.
Yeah.
But I was just like, oh, here we are. And I get them. But then the point of me being actually like, okay, fuck you guys comes up because Gia goes, oh, we should get breakfast. And I'm like,
No, we're going
we
home.
deserve it. Cool, we deserve it. Like, where should we go? They start naming all these fucking places, and in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm gonna do whatever they say. They worked hard, and like whatever.
Yeah.
I want to give them this. but you're mentioning places that are across the fucking city.
Yeah.
Are you goddamn
They're
kidding?
like, how do you feel about San Jose?
Like, for reals, it felt that way.
Let's go to
We ended
Oak.
up getting Noah's Bagels, though. It was all good.
Oh, I love nose bag.
Yeah, but real talk, Roger, I feel bad for you, man.
No,
Like,
it's
you worked so hard on this shit. I texted you in the morning
Yeah.
yesterday being like, let's go. And then I was like,
No, it's okay. Honestly, it was the best scenario, right? If I ran through that and it was just I know again the same thing with the treadmill. I know there might be moments, there definitely would have been moments of me being like, I could just stop this at any moment. And would I have stopped? Probably not, but maybe I would have. So now the world will never know.
There's something just universal about the big test being on Monday, and then you wake up and then it's like you're snowed in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what it fully
nice.
felt like. I
That-
haven't felt that in years. It was
Ah,
incredible. Yeah,
that
I do
feeling
wish it
is
came,
so
maybe
good.
5 while I was in the Uber, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I could have rerouted it a little
yeah,
bit.
or like the night prior when
Yeah,
everyone
exactly.
on the planet was
Yeah,
like,
it's almost like
gonna be
they-
horrible tomorrow.
Sorry. they
Sorry.
knew
One last thing I forgot to mention is on the drive back now, the drive to go pick them up. I'm driving and like there's streets that are just straight up closed because
Yeah.
trees fell down. Like this is a war zone out here.
Yeah.
And I'm driving, the rain's going fucking crazy, and I'm just like, oh shit. And like down the street, I see like a flash of light, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? And then I see another one, and I'm like looking. One of the electrical transformers just exploded.
Perfect.
Jesus.
And it was one of the most, it looked like Thor just came down.
Yeah.
Like it was so crazy. And I'm like, well, guess I got to go another way. And I start driving. And as I'm driving, I'm looking up and I'm just seeing all of the electrical wires every couple blocks, just seeing them kind of spark and shit. And I'm like, is the entire city just going to explode? Like
Holy
it was
shit.
Kinda sick,
terrifying, man.
Yeah. Thank God it didn't. Thank God it wasn't like last year when that happened for like 20 days straight. At least that we're getting a little bit of a reprieve here. But yeah, that shit's terrifying.
I mean, it's so bad that last Friday there was an earthquake. There was,
Oh yeah.
I've lived in San Francisco my entire life.
yeah.
I've experienced many earthquakes. None of them have been quite like this, where because of how bad the wind was, we were torn. Like I was convinced it was wind. 'Cause
Every
it-
single person that came out said, "Is this a wind
Is it
thing?"
wind?
Yeah,
and then
'cause
no
it
one
felt,
thought. Yeah,
It felt like the whole building got shook by wind because it was like, that was really weird and it's been windy. It was like a jolt where it was just one single doosh.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not what an earthquake is, but I guess we're getting new types of earthquakes now. Great.
new one evolved.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we keep going, we're going to take a break to tell you about our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by kindafunny.com/store. We've got 2 brand new drops for you this week. First, check out the Kinda Funny broadcast line. Old school telethons inspired this distressed design and collection for our annual Kinda Funny Day campaign, which includes a t-shirt, tote bag, and coffee cup. Our cozy collection, designed by Nick at Campfire Designs, is also available. Get nice and snuggly in your choice of a crew neck sweatshirt and joggers and a women's cropped hoodie. These have been big hits with the team, and we think you'll love them too. Both collections are available for the next 2 weeks on kindafunny.com/store. Grab them while you can.
She was scary.
Sorry, what were we going to say?
No, I was gonna say that it was funny. Like, first of all, I loved giving out the news to everybody that was canceled. That was my favorite job. I was just standing at a street corner, and then people
Canceled.
Like,
people
turn
would
around.
walk by, and I'd be like, I would just be muttering till the hands up, like, canceled, like really loud, and then they'd be like, oh my god, it's canceled. So that was great.
Just on the corner smoking a cigarette, like, canceled it on us.
I can't believe it. But then the wild thing, which I already knew, you always see the insane athletes, right? But like, man, the amount of people that I saw that heard it's canceled, okay, cool, turned around and then just started running in
Yep.
a random direction, like
Yep.
full on shorts, like completely just like Lululemoned out. Like there's no protection at all. They're just fucking going.
This
And
is
it's like,
what
okay,
I'm saying about running. It's like a superpower,
it's
right?
wild,
If
dude.
I could run, first off, it's cool because then you could just work out whenever you want.
Yeah.
You don't need a gym. You don't need anything. You just put some shoes on. You put those 1980s puffy little running shorts on that are just way too fucking short.
Yeah.
That when you see old dudes running in, you're like, I can see your ball. You know, I can see the balls
yeah, just a
on
little
your
bit.
leg, right? But like, I'd put those
On your
on.
leg.
I put those on, and I would and they just run for hours. It's so impressive, man. It's
Yeah.
cool.
No, it's wild.
So how does Snowbike Mike fit in the story somewhere? Like he was supposed to show.
I
up?
mean, that's a
forgot
great
about that.
question. Yeah, so I
forgot
mean,
about
Snowbike Mike like signed. That's the worst part about this, right? Is that the thing about Mike is that you can't let anybody just have something, right? That's got to be like, you know what, I could do that, and I could do it better than you, and I can do it faster, right? So he during the 50 Cent Blood on the Stand stream, I mentioned it to him. I'm like, oh, like you down for the half marathon? Half jokingly, and by the way, 2 months ago he said that he signed up for the half marathon. He didn't. So then during that stream,
Signed up for the project.
he pays the money, pays the $130 or whatever to sign up for the half marathon.
They pay to run.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
he pays for it. He's like, I got it. I got you. Pays the $130. Of course, doesn't press the button for the, pay $15 more to get the refund, but just presses the $120. Pays for the medal. Pays
Roger,
for extra medal, by the way, because he didn't read
thing
it.
that I would say that would be a completely useless thing for Mike to ever do is to be able to get refunded for anything.
That's true. That's true.
And Mike is a man of his convictions, right? He never needs that.
That's true. So then he signs up to participate in it. But I think he paid for an extra medal because he didn't realize that you get a medal with it. So he just saw the medal and he just pressed the extra one.
This man is he gonna put it on his wall?
Yeah, well, he wanted it. So then he signs up and then I look at him, I'm like, hey, are we doing this half marathon? Are you coming? I knew he wasn't going to actually run it, but I'm like, are you going to come to the finish line? Are we going to take a photo? Are you going to support or whatever? And then, the day before, he's like, or the Friday before the Sunday of the race, he's like, Roger, I'm absolutely going to be there. I'll be there. 100% will be there. Tell Leanza to text me because I don't have her number. And then we will coordinate a way to get to the finish line for you. Okay, cool. Then Leanza Saturday looks at me and she says, is this what you deal with every day? I'm like, what? And she shows me a text message and it's just Mike saying, if I make it, if I go, then we'll do this potentially. And it's like, okay, cool, awesome. So then Leanza was freaking out all Saturday while I'm freaking out, trying to figure out how to coordinate with Mike. And I had to look at him like, he's not coming. This is not happening. This is not a happening situation.
Here's what happened. Mike randomly saw a tweet about the weather
Yeah.
and was like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then he got committed.
Which, to be fair, should have been the case for everyone involved in this even a little bit. Because, again, I'm here to support. I want to push people. If y'all want to do this, go for it.
Yeah.
But when I heard the rain when I woke up yesterday at fucking 4:30 a.m. or whatever the hell it was, and I hear what's going on outside, I looked at G and I'm like, you're going into that?
Yeah.
You're going to run. Your tiny little frame is going to run a half marathon? You're going to get blown away.
This all happened on Sunday, and Saturday evening, I get a text from my landlord that's like, hey, there's a big chance of high waters rising or whatever. If you're parked on the street, you might want to move your car. So by Saturday night, I had moved my car to the studio parking lot. I was like, I'll just leave it at work. Because I expected Sunday to be an apocalypse.
Yeah. And it was. It felt like one. It felt like one.
Yeah.
Just the wind and everything. But hey, I was going to do it. You know what I mean? And guess what? I might have won it. You know what I mean? You never
might have
know.
won.
You might have won it.
Roger could have been first.
I could have been a fucking contender.
Is
You
that
never
a thing?
know.
Do they count people who were in first
Oh,
place?
of course.
second
Yeah,
place?
yeah.
Damn.
I could have done that. Think
Well,
about
I mean,
that.
it doesn't count quite as much as a real marathon, but they still count it.
Also,
half of
bless. Do you
You
know
get
what
half
the
a medal.
prize is for winning it?
No.
You get to apply to other marathons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some cooler ones.
Yeah,
too.
dude.
It's
Awful.
this is a fucking
Can you
pyramid
not just
scheme.
do that anyway? Are there
It's a
exclusive
pyramid.
marathons?
No, there are.
Yeah. Cool
That's
Greg's been
wild.
obsessed with marathons and stuff, and he got rejected from some because it's you need to prove yourself. It's like Pokemon gym leader shit. I don't know. Maybe they're onto something.
Well, it's a
It's
sport.
like-
It's a sport, right? So
but it's just running, right?
we have to qualify to do the New York Marathon or the Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
So you have to actually do qualifying events because you can't. They don't just want
people dying on
3,000 people. I imagine. I could be
Oh,
wrong. But they
yeah.
don't want so many people applying for it. Then there's only so many spots they have. So you have to actually be legit.
Damn.
And
That's
it's
actually kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it's competitive, right? Competitive marathon runners are. I think they earn a lot of fucking money. I think if you win the Boston Marathon, Kevin, check this out for me. What do you win if you win a
I'll
marathon?
look it up.
How strict are the rules? Are there people that are cheating at marathons? Are there people that are I'm gonna either do
Mike discussed it
steroids
lightly.
or I'm gonna push people out of the marathon race?
Cool Greg's so into this running shit, so he's always just dropping random facts to me, and I'm like, what the fuck? I would have never thought about that. He was just telling me that there was a certain pair of shoes, and I should know what they are. Oh, Ultra Boost, Adidas Ultra Boost, that were banned.
Yeah. Okay.
Really?
They were banned because it was performance enhancing, whatever, and then eventually that got
Can you zoom in on that a
returned
little
or whatever. But
My
why?
old eyes can't see. Okay, so Kevin has, thank you, first place for the Boston Marathon 2024, $150,000 for the open division. And I'm looking at fourth, thinking, how hard can I train to get that 25 right there? I'll take fourth. I'll just place, bro. I don't, like I said before, I don't need to be in the game. I just
Yeah.
want to win a Super Bowl ring. You know what I mean? I can
Yeah.
be third string guy
Yeah.
on the fucking bench that
You be water boy.
I want to come off that field cleaner than when I went on it, with my just being able to wear my uniform again the next day if I have to.
Yeah, but you just
That's
want
what I
that
want.
ring.
What do you think are the chances, or I guess how hard do you need to work to get to number one at the Boston Marathon?
Oh,
They make that
fucking
250,000. Because in my head, I'm thinking of my options of if I want to win a thing and get a lot of money. If you sign up for the Street Fighter Capcom
Yes.
tournament, that's $2 million right there.
That's pretty sick.
And that's if you're in for. I feel like it might be easier to do Street Fighter though. than the Boston Marathon.
Let's put it this way.
Getting first
What
place.
is the fastest time that? Yeah, let's see what the time
Plus,
is. for
I
this
love
guy
that
thing.
you just said that as
Total-
if that was a
No
like,
shot.
crazy
Total
thing to
time.
say.
I have like, I'm just trying to balance it
this
out.
guy did
What in
26 miles in 2 hours.
and 5 minutes and 54 seconds
That's
was
faster
Evans
than, like, some
Chabet
cars.
That's what that.
Kev, can you do
That's-
the math on that? Like, can you break it to like?
per mile, 2 hours. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can do the math on that for sure.
That's insane.
That is
That doesn't feel real.
fucking. That dude ran 26 miles. I mean, first off, I can't even compare anything I could do to that because I could probably only run 3 miles before I had to stop and sit down and my knee would
Yeah.
explode.
That was what I was looking. I was gonna do way more than that for the half marathon. I was gonna do probably 2.5. That's crazy. That's wild. To do a full marathon.
Yeah.
In less
So
time than I-
Cool
so
Greg's done a full marathon, man.
Wow.
The
Look at-
question
yeah.
is,
That's insane.
do you think you could win? Do you think you could place in one of these marathons easier than you could to place in like a Tekken tournament?
Oh, easily Tekken. Like, that's the thing is like I feel like there are less people signing up for Tekken than the Boston Marathon.
I don't
like,
know.
Let's say if it's the equal amount of people. Like, let's say, I don't know, 10K people are showing up for Tekken and 10K people are showing up for the Boston Marathon.
Mhm.
If I had to think about the training that goes into it, yeah, usually like I feel like both the training and then also just the chances of winning on Tekken is way more than Boston Marathon.
Well, you have an education for it already, right? Because you've
Yeah.
been playing this game your entire life, pretty much.
But also,
right?
there's a level of physical exertion that
Yeah.
Tekken or games in general don't require. Like, I feel like League of Legends. I've only played like one League of Legends game ever in my life.
yeah, but that's just them clicking around a map. That's super
Yeah,
easy.
but I feel like that's way easier than fucking showing up to the Boston Marathon and having to run for.
I mean,
like,
the
how long
Boston.
is the
And
marathon?
Let's put it this way: at some point, and I don't know this for sure, but I've heard this, and maybe Cool G can confirm or deny it. At some point, you shit yourself during a marathon, right? You can,
That's-
or at least the ultra
that-
marathons.
that-
We have to run like 5 marathons back to back. You just gotta shit. You
No,
gotta shit.
Just,
Yeah.
just
Well,
to
my
be
bro-
clear, that does happen. Also, the math works out to like 4.7 minutes per mile. is
Oh
what
my
I'm saying.
Fucking
God.
shit! That's
For
fast.
13 miles.
26.
26.
Oh, for 26.
I think
Yeah.
my fastest mile ever was like 11 minutes or
Yeah.
10 minutes. I think I was like,
Yeah,
that was me
same.
sweating afterward. Like I gotta take a
That's
break for a
sick.
few days.
That's fucking crazy.
But yeah, I feel like if I close my eyes and play League of Legends, like there's a chance I might win the fucking big championship.
That's so insane.
Whereas there's like 0%
They made it
chance
so easy
I'm gonna
for
get
those
first
legal-
place at the.
Well, yeah,
Boston
and also
Marathon.
it's like you have to think about like the commitment. I mean, both are I would say probably equal time commitments in the sense that if you want to be the greatest at something, you got to put in your entire life,
You got to,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
You
but
got
like at least with Tekken, you don't have to modify all of your food and everything you do in
But
your
you
entire
kinda-
life.
Like, but don't they like real like hardcore or like top level esports guys? They do a lot of this stuff. Like they still
Yeah, yeah.
train, they still
Yeah.
train,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and they still eat
They're
well
in physical
because you have
shape.
to
Sure.
keep your reflexes
Yeah.
like.
No,
But
it's
that's-
crazy. Alfredo, I mean, legitimately aged out. Like it got to
Yeah.
the point like he was doing so much professional
reflexes slow
competitive
down.
stuff, and it hit a point. He's like, I can't compete with these kids. Like it's literally just like it's
Wow.
the same game, same shit, but he's like, it's just not the same anymore. And like,
Do it.
yeah, it's crazy to think about.
That's the thing. How old are you? No.
29.
Yeah, you're done.
You're
Dude,
done, man.
Put a
I've
fork in it,
been-
man. You're done.
I've been playing a lot of Tekken for the last few weeks. I've been feeling it like in my wrist,
Really?
of wrist pain as I'm playing.
Yeah,
like,
arthritis.
like, no
The
joke.
Tekken high.
And like I've had issues with wrist pain like since I was a teenager because I used to break dance and shit. So I put a lot of pressure on my
Oh, yeah.
wrist. But as I've been playing Tekken,
yeah.
I've been feeling it more. Where I'm like, oh, I have to take breaks. Like I can't
Yeah.
just play this endlessly anymore.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. But now I'm thinking like 10 years from now, what if I get some kind of like condition where I just straight up can't play video games that hardcore? It's terrifying to me.
You,
When the
you're-
Neuralink
can
comes
I?
into play.
I'll explain to you that you are going to get that condition.
Mhm.
It's called being in your 40s. And then you're going to be 20 minutes into what should be a 25-minute long tutorial, but then 2 hours later you're still playing the fucking tutorial, and then Greg and Andy and Mike are still making fun of you because you haven't finished the fucking tutorial in the Suicide Squad
Mm.
Kill the Justice League.
Oh,
And then I think we
Oh,
finished that
Nick.
day out, and I finally finished the
Oh,
tutorial.
Nick.
yeah.
I got a question I want to bring up.
Sure.
And this is total non sequitur. It's a totally different topic. But over the weekend, I watched the first couple of episodes of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and
The new one.
the
Or,
new
yeah.
one, the
Not the
new
movie,
the new series on Amazon, and it was just a reminder of how much I love Donald Glover.
Mhm.
And this kind of feeds into a conversation I was having. Barrett had a birthday at a bar a few nights ago, and we were talking about like if you only had to listen to one music artist for the rest of your life, who would you choose? And
Mm.
as I was watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith, that evolved into a different question for me, which is if you had to consume one person's content,
Mm.
right? Like, and the only stipulation is that they're credited, like they have to be in the credits for that thing.
Mm.
Okay.
But you can only commit yourself to one person. Who would you choose? Because I
Right.
think my answer might be Donald Glover. as I was watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith, for the fact that, of course, he does a bunch of different things, right? He does stand up, he does music, he does TV, but also across all those different things, he has varying levels of like genres and styles that he does. Like for music, he has rap albums, but he also has what's the one that has
Wake My
Redbone on
Love.
it? Yeah, he has that one that's like, more funk, more soul, more psychedelic, right? But then, he like, and I feel like if I invest in the future of Donald Glover, he's only going to grow in terms of music and like the different kind of genres he puts out. But then in TV, he has like sitcom stuff with Community. He has more dramatic comedy with Atlanta, and now Mr. and Mrs. Smith, he has something that's a bit more thriller / comedy type thing, right? And I feel like same in terms of the potential of what he's gonna and movies,
Fucking
right?
Lando.
Star Wars. But yeah,
Community? You see this? He signed
the
on.
Community movie. Oh
He
yeah,
signed on.
oh yeah. Like I think
didn't
that's
know
the
they were
thing
doing
is
that.
the potential of Donald Glover movies too. I think I'd be set
This
if I committed to
this
Donald
feels
Glover.
like a cheat code though. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to think of anybody who rivals that level of like, hey, there's just so much different forms of media from this one credited person.
The one other thing I thought of was like music producers that are
Sure.
credited with like a lot of different things. Like what was
The
his name?
Dream.
Betty Blanco, or like, did you say The Dream?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah, The
Good one.
Dream. Yeah, for writing. Or like Kanye West, who's like produced like a bunch of rap albums in the 2000s.
Yeah.
That is the big problem, though. It's like choosing somebody like Kanye. Obviously, so many fucking issues at this point, and like Donald Glover, I don't think will ever have that type of fall off. But I do think that there is I'm going to even change this conversation because him and Kanye very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say Donald Glover, like I do think I have a concern that he's at a creative impasse that he's gonna just turn on everybody even more than he already has. And like I'm a little concerned about his future output, but we'll see. And like. I don't know, but I get a sense of like, I'm fucking better than you all. And like, I'm going to put things out and you're just going to fucking like it, whatever it is. And most times when we see artists get to that point, it's like, oh, okay. I love what you
I
used
feel
to
like he
do.
did that with his last album, which like either you love that album or you hate that album, right? Most people I know aren't really big fans of that album. I know some people that are, but like I didn't really fuck with that album. But then he put out more seasons of Atlanta and Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I'm like, damn, he's got it though. Like when he wants to bring it, he does have it.
Yeah. Yeah. And even produced the show Swarm and stuff like that. Like so he's like
Form, yeah.
you like I'm trying to think. I don't know. My brain mainly went to Beethoven. What if I just got really into Beethoven? You know what I mean? Like if I were to choose somebody that I've never listened to before, really, and I just get really like maybe that's just my future. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the way to go about
What
it.
just happened over there?
I don't know. The thing about
Dave
Beethoven.
had a great joke, and
Beethoven,
you guys fucking
the
dropped the
Dawn?
ball and laughing at it. And so did I.
Roger's
Explain the
just
joke?
going to get really into the Beethoven movie series.
Oh,
Starring Charles Grodin. You don't remember these. These are like
no, I only know Airbud.
this might have been like the year
They're
you were
cousins.
born.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Like legally?
Mhm.
Seriously?
I don't know how dog works.
Absolutely not.
Like,
No.
I thought I thought you were gonna throw some like Disney fucking bullshit.
No,
Oh my god,
no,
an Airbud in the you see a picture of Beethoven on the wall, in black and white.
awesome.
Love you, cousin. It's like the bear, everyone's cousins. My brain immediately went to two people. If you're gonna throw in with any actor, you got to go Tom Cruise, because he's gonna give us something good at least once a year. He doesn't have the output or the variety
Yeah.
of Donald Glover, because Donald Glover, I do agree, might be one of the most multifaceted artists currently out there, and that there's something for everyone there, right? I love Community. I'm not a huge fan of necessarily his music, mostly because I haven't been exposed too much to it. But if you tell me he was going to do Community again, I'd be like, love it, right? Tom, on the other hand, has given us top level action pretty much every single year that we love. But I can't in good conscience pick him because my gut reaction was Ryan Gosling. And I don't, he maybe does one project every couple years,
But it's
but they're always bangers.
Yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
some music too. You can listen to that.
Does he
music.
really? Oh,
He's
got
a
a
Disney
band.
kid.
He had a
He's
band.
He's a Disney boy.
Yeah, and he also had a band.
What was
I mean,
it called?
that's a
The
good
Gosling?
catalog.
Yeah, something like that.
Like I feel like that's a good one for just the history of the stuff he's been in.
Yeah.
Like you
I
won't
like
get
it.
bored going back into the back.
You're not going to
catalog.
get bored. No. But it's tough though, because like who else
Oh,
does as many things?
I mean,
as-
another one that came to mind was Will Smith. Like if I had to live the
Sure.
rest of my life just like watching Will Smith stuff and listen, like he has music, and so I can listen. I can
But
just
my
listen to
worry
Will
with
Smith music
my
for the
worry
rest of
with
my life.
Will Smith is like, is he gonna bounce back from the Oscar slap? And he's already everyone's like sort of like, we're good. He's coming out with the new Bad Boys. He's got a couple other projects, and we're like, I'll go with it. But like, has he lost a step? 'Cause
See, my thing is, I'm like, if I knew Will Smith wasn't making anything else, if he was done, I still think everything he's already made would probably sustain me. I really like Will Smith movies.
Well, there was like a 10-year period there where Will Smith just fucking dominated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was right with, I think, what was Independence Day before Men in Black? I want to say.
Yeah.
Right around that
Independence
time he
Day
did
was
Independence Day, then Men in Black, and then Men in Black 2.
Wild Wild
and then
West.
Bad Boys. Oh, it was Bad Boys was first. And then dude, he was fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
He was everything.
That
And
era
theme
Will
songs.
Smith, and then like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like that's
Love
the
Fresh
show that I could, if I had to watch one show, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air isn't a bad pick for me.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
It's a good show. Ran for a lot of seasons too, so you can just watch it over again. and
Like the
forget.
only thing that would probably hold me back from Will Smith as a pick is listening. If I had to listen to only Will Smith music for the
be
rest of my
tough.
life,
Because
that'd
Will
be tough.
Smith music is a little bit what's the word I'm looking for?
Corny.
Is it corny? I guess I was gonna say a little bit more like consumer. But
Remember his Eminem diss?
what did he say?
What?
What was it called?
Excuse me?
Yeah,
He had an Eminem diss?
it was a diss.
Oh yeah.
He's a nice guy. How you doing?
Yeah.
he's a fucking Will
That
Smith.
was, I think
God bless you, dude.
I think it was the same album as Switch. Which
Yeah, it
came
was.
out like
Yeah.
2004 or some shit.
Yeah,
Incredible.
it was over the Spider-Man beat, I think.
Because I think it was a response to Eminem being like, Will Smith doesn't need a cuss in his records, but I do.
Yeah.
Fuck him and fuck you too.
Oh, yeah.
So he was like, I make money, Eminem. I'm a nice guy. I'm only paraquoting it, but it's close.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. I feel like you can listen to that. I feel like everyone gets one Will Smith song in their playlist. You know what I mean? You just get one. Just get one.
Switch is mine. I like Switch a lot.
Parents
fucking
just
love
don't
it.
understand. You know what I mean?
Of course.
That's my workout.
Oh,
Another one I'll throw out. Olivia Rodrigo.
No.
I think she has a bright future ahead of her.
Oh, so you're playing the long game.
But I'm playing the long game.
Okay.
Yeah, because like so far, yeah, the
I feel like
catalog
that's
she
a
has-
gamble, though. That's a huge
That's a
gamble.
gamble.
Big
It's a
gamble.
big
You're gonna watch
gamble.
High School Musical, the show forever. What are you gonna do?
You're not.
You're not.
But she's gonna be in. She's
It's
gonna
only
be
the
in
first
movie.
2 seasons you could watch.
She's gonna be in movie. She's gonna
You
be
don't
more
know
than
that.
You don't know that.
But there's a
She
good
could-
chance.
Billie Eilish is even a better choice because you have like a lot more. You have a lot more options, right?
Yeah, but Billie Eilish, everything's
Ooh.
Irish.
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish. I got no disrespect to Billie Eilish. All this stuff's too slow. I get sleepy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree
can't
with
be.
that.
I can't be immersed in Billie Eilish's world because every time I think she did the intro credits for True Detective and they're dope. But
Oh, did
it's- Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like this. Oh man,
But it's not a new
it's
song.
A little bit.
It's,
Oh,
That's
okay.
one of her older ones.
I'm
Yeah,
the bad guy.
but it sounds like that, right? It
I don't know,
sounds
man. I'm going Olivia over Billie Eilish. Even if I'm just
Wow,
talking
you're
about
bullish on Olivia. That's
Just
crazy.
talking music, I'm still going Olivia. These last 2 Olivia albums have been great.
So you're just. I was looking to like the cheat codes, right? Like I was like thinking about like movie producers. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
you could
a
do
Jerry
that, yeah.
Bruckheimer. I don't know how many movies.
Brooks. Oh, he's
I
in
don't
a
know.
lot,
I don't know how
dude.
many movies.
I
Probably
don't
a
know
lot
if
of
there's too
movies.
many more now, but-
Martin Scorsese. He puts his name on everything. He's in Shark Tales.
Steven
Scorsese.
Spielberg. He puts his
Spielberg
name
would
on
be
everything.
That's true.
Yeah.
Transformer. I can watch all the fucking Transformers
can.
movies.
Well, if you
That's
do
a cheat code.
But if you do Spielberg, you also get all like the TV and shit that he is just kind of quote executive producer.
Yeah, that's a
you
good
do
one.
get a lot.
That's
there.
really good.
You do get a lot.
That's a
there.
bang for your buck right there.
You could go the opposite route too. I could go Jake Johnson. Jake Johnson does 5 movies every week, so that's pretty great. I love that. They're all pretty good usually.
What's-
He's just did a ton of shit.
What's the
Yeah.
name of the composer? Ludwig Göransson.
Sorensen, yeah.
Yeah.
He's done so much shit.
And he's attached.
He's attached.
Because you said it just
yeah.
needs to be.
It just needs to be in the credits.
Yeah.
He's attached to
That's
Donald Glover. He's
fantastic
produced like I think most, if not all, the Donald Glover like albums.
Black
Mandalorian.
Panthers.
He did Black Panther. Yeah, that might be my
Yeah,
actual.
he's all over, dude.
Yeah,
That's really
That's a
good.
good
That's really good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a good answer to this, and it gets harder and harder to like when you start thinking about Donald Glover's unique because of the amount of shit that he
Yeah.
touches.
Yeah.
That I legitimately enjoy so much of this, but
Oh, Mike's coming out of the raft.
Mike is stumbling
Talking
onto
about
the
the drunk
set.
drink.
Get over here.
Can I give you a weird one, Tim, to think about?
yeah,
Here's a fun one. How about LeBron James? Over 20 years in the NBA. That's 100 games a season to now have as a back catalog. A NBA All-Star who now, get this, is executive producing movies, who's getting on with his own film career and production company. That name's going to be tied to a lot of things in the future.
Yeah.
When you think about
he's
it.
credited on albums too.
yeah.
Think about
that's true.
someone that big.
Being
I
right in
just
the bonus
love the
track.
idea
Yeah.
of Mike bringing up a back catalog of NBA games.
I mean, that's so much basketball you can watch.
That is
Yeah,
so
and then it's
fucking
all.
funny.
Even if you don't like any of the teams he plays on, you can watch the games with him playing against the teams you like. You know what I mean? Let's think about that. It's
The,
smart.
the one for me though that I would say, and like this is a little bit more just on what exists, and kind of just hoping for more in the future, but really not knowing, it's Bo Burnham. Everything he's done or is attached to, that motherfucker's in good movies.
Yeah.
Like, if he shows up and it's always just like a bit actor or whatever, it's going to be an amazing movie. And obviously, I love music, comedy, whatever you even want to call the shit that he does. Love that. So I'm just not confident we're going to get that much more over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say this: Jacek in the chat has a one we all forgot about. Disney used to be a person. Used to be
That's
a
true.
Walt
man.
Disney.
A man.
So you could just say Disney because that was a person. He was a producer
So like,
back in the day.
how is he credited?
Well, it's
Like,
getting
I mean,
Do we
it says,
count
It
Walt
says Walt
everywhere.
Disney. Yeah.
There's
so like,
Walt
it says
Disney.
corporation after.
Yeah, but I'm a corporation. Right?
Corporations are people.
He's a
I don't know.
businessman.
It's true. It's true. He's not technically. They're not technically crediting Walt Disney as an
I
executive.
would
Yeah.
love, like,
for
if you
Marvel
look back
movies.
at all the Disney stuff and it just says special thanks to Walt Disney, and then
Walt
parentheses
Disney.
it says the man,
the man, not the corporation.
the person.
That's interesting.
Man,
It's a tough one.
it is.
I want my brain goes like I like the producer route. Who's the executive producer that's produced the most of my stuff? Like
Someone said Dick
who's the
Wolf.
Shonda Rhimes? Dick Wolf has done a lot of shit.
You got
That's
every
actually-
single
yeah.
I
episode.
was gonna
of
say Shonda
SVU.
Rhimes because Shonda Rhimes is
Yeah.
fucking 9,000 shows that are fun to watch.
I was also thinking about, like, is there anybody in games that like a Kojima or a like Neil
Oh,
Druckmann?
Miyamoto. I'd be happy.
Yeah. Well.
Oh,
Any
yeah.
game he's credited in, he's credited in so much shit just because his
That's
creations
true.
are in them. Like Smash.
And you can still watch the Mario movie.
Someone brought up earlier. You could do Shakespeare. That does count. That is infinite.
Shakespeare?
Yeah. That's just an infinite glitch.
How? Like
Just
everything?
how many movies are influenced by Shakespeare
Everything's
novels?
based
It's
on
just,
Shakespeare.
they do have
Yeah,
to
but-
credit. They do have to credit Shakespeare.
Okay.
Yeah, but I
about
don't
that?
need know that I need to see every version of Romeo. And
Yeah, I was
You don't
gonna
want to
say,
watch. You don't watch
how many times
the.
am I
You don't
gonna
watch O, the
I
modern
don't need to
version of
see like
Othello.
whatever sliding doors. Yeah. Hey, man, that was a good movie.
It was a good movie. It was a great movie.
God.
That's the only way I watched that.
Oh, Kevin
Great.
Feige actually.
Yeah, Kevin Feige's
Feige
the one
would be
for
the
me.
one.
But then you'd be stuck on MCU, and I don't know how long I could do
But
that.
it's not
for.
just MCU. I mean, well, it's all the old stuff too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good there. There's a lot of variation, even though a lot of it is it's superheroes, but there is more. And like for me, that would also include all the soundtracks and shit. So I'm set on the music side.
Mm-hmm.
Just
And
looking
you have
here.
TV,
Spielberg,
not great
Lucas.
TV, but you have TV.
You have TV.
Yeah, Loki, which is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one though. You got a lot of executive producers. I mean, like, man, I don't want to even mention him. Favreau's been in a lot of shit.
Yeah, Favreau's a good one. Actually.
Toriyama, also for like Dragon Ball, and then like Dragon Quest for video games.
You just want to
You're
play
gonna
those
get
games.
real into Dragon Quest. This is your excuse.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, cool. Now it's time to just play Dragon Quest because it's the only thing I can play now.
Yeah.
Am I crazy? I typed in famous executive producers. Top line is like Kevin Feige, Kathleen Kennedy, Steven Spielberg, Frank Marshall, the ones you would think, George Lucas, Favreau, whatever. Then a little bit down the line, not that far down, is 50 Cent.
That's
yeah.
huge. Oh, the
so
Power
50
series.
Fuck, 50
Yeah.
Cent might actually be a really good
Power
answer.
Vitamin
series.
water.
What's going on with
Vi-
that? Vitamin.
So-
I mean, we're just doing media. I love the idea though that like you can only consume products made by that person.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about Oprah Winfrey for a little bit of like the
Oprah's the
you get all of the OWN network, and that's a huge deal for me.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Super
Well, I
Soul
was gonna
Sundays.
say Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen, who's
Oh.
the Mr. Bravo.
Yeah,
Like-
he produces
Oh,
all those
that's
shows.
yours.
He does all the Housewives. He does
Yeah, he's
everything.
got his hand all
yeah,
over
yeah.
it.
Oh, I didn't realize he's like credited in the Housewives.
Andy Cohen is like he is.
He made
Bravo.
Bravo, basically.
Really? I just knew him as the guy that hosted
He's
the,
the
after
host.
show.
He hosts the reunion. He's the executive producer. of Bravo.
Wow. Oh,
Do you
wow.
remember how like they did like the Talking Dead afterward with
Yeah, yeah.
Hardwick, whatever? It's the opposite of that. And Andy Cohen actually started the series.
Oh wow.
And then was like, I'll have a genius idea. I'll do a bunch of shows about the series. And then my wife will watch all of them. And I'll have to hear them from the other room. I think to myself, why does anyone watch the show about these garbage human beings?
And then he
yelling
comes
at
to
each other?
work.
And then
his work
fucking
wife.
Joey and Tim can't stop talking about them.
Fantastic.
But it's all good. That's an interesting question.
Yeah, I love the person in chat that says Tyler Perry.
It's a choice.
I mean,
Again,
I mean Tyler Perry's done a lot,
It
Tyler
is
Perry's
an
a lot
option.
of shit
a
though.
lot of stuff. I mean, Medea goes to jail.
Gone Girl.
What
was that?
He was in Gone Girl.
Oh, was he in Gone Girl?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Tyler Perry has like an empire though. He's
Oh, yeah.
done a lot of
You
shit.
think Gone Girl sucks?
That movie sucks, dude.
You're
Well, I don't think that's
crazy.
the nuance of Gone
We-
Girl.
You're crazy.
we gotta
you're
talk
thinking Zombie
about
Bomb.
that.
Also, I think Tyler Perry might own BET.
I think
Does he own
he.
it?
I think he owns. I think he maybe partly
Are you
owns
thinking
BET.
Byron Allen or are you thinking Tyler Perry?
I'll look it up.
Hold on.
I could have sworn Tyler Perry did. Because if so, that's a whole channel I get right there.
Against the OWN network. Come on, I get
You look
Super
that up.
Soul
Who owns
Sundays.
BET? That's a good question because I just heard.
That's a good question.
Well, I just heard an interview because here's backstory. Paramount's up for sale, and everyone's trying to figure out like who's going to buy that. And then I was just listening to an article about. Let's see, who is it? Oh, Perry does. Wow.
Perry still has a
Oh,
minority.
in the
stake.
BET streaming service.
He has a minority stake in BET Plus.
There you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're all everyone's theorizing like who might potentially bid on this and stuff like that. And I think Tyler Perry came up, Byron Allen came up, a bunch of other people came up, but it'll be interesting. Poor Paramount Pictures. Oh, sad. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
though.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
someone
that's
will buy it, they'll be
Universal,
fine.
They got Knuckles.
You see, Universal
God,
took all their music off streaming, or not streaming. Sorry, TikTok.
Did
Yeah.
Universal buy their catalog? Oh, Universal took all Universal's.
Yeah, all of Universal's
God,
music.
I thought they bought Paramount's catalog.
No.
Took it off. I didn't even know Paramount had a catalog for music. I'm sure they do,
Yeah.
but I digress.
Now people are just doing TikTok dances to silence.
There's nothing,
Animal noises.
there's nothing left.
Oh man. Well, folks, this was a good one. I like
was
this
fun.
one. Will it be called Tim's Crazy Marathon Adventure?
No.
Or will it be called Who Would You Throw In With? Who would you? Well, I don't know what the topic's going to be. At this
It's
point, folks.
probably a marathon, but not
Yeah.
me. I have the least to do
I
with
do
it.
like this
Can we
though.
call
I
it
do like this
Marathon
angle,
Team?
everybody.
Roger's
Let's break the
Crazy
thumbnail
Marathon
right now. I
Adventure.
like this idea. Of him just
Because the
running.
last time Tim told the story, it was one of the most heroic, harrowing,
Yeah.
and scary stories I've ever heard
Yeah.
in my entire life. You having to break into your buddy's house
Yeah,
with the fucking cable guy or whoever was with you.
Fucking cable
The
guy.
locksmith. It was a locksmith. So maybe people will click on this, ladies and gentlemen. Of
Oh,
course,
man.
this has been the Kind of Funny podcast, where each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table. Why am I having such a problem with it today, Tim? I don't know. It's the volcano curry that's rumbling in my tumbly. If you guys want to be part of the show, of course, you guys can support us in multiple ways. But hey, how about the Kind of Funny membership? It gets you all sorts of cool stuff. It gets you in the chat right now, like Kendall Holt and Jasek and all sorts of cool people over there that were saying cool stuff to me the whole time that I couldn't read because my eyes kind of blurring over. Because again, I refer you back to Tim making me eat volcano curry for my first time, and it's doing something to me. It is good. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Xcarpino. You've been great. We'll be back next week. Until then, it's been our pleasure to serve you.